StarCast is proudly sponsored by DogHouseSystems.com. If you use the code StarCast or Biscuit at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code StarCast and get 30% off plus free shipping on your entire order. And finally, SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Daily quotes from the Starcraft 2 community. The site may suck, but the quotes are sick. And make sure to go check out their t-shirts in their new store. Once again, that's SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com, and we thank them for their support. Sponsor an episode of StarCast at thestarcast.com.
Yeah, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Biscuit.
Welcome back, greetings, hello, and all that jazz to episode 149 of StarCast. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, and with me, as always, Kyle. Dude, how you doing?
I'm doing great. We're almost at 150. That's crazy.
Every time we start a new doc and I type in the frickin' number of the show, I go, this is absurd.
It's too much.
Right.
But we're not stopping. Sorry, everyone out there. It's going to keep going.
Right. No matter how obnoxious you may find our voice or appearance or everything else about us, we're just not going to quit doing it.
Don't downplay that. We're great. We got great voices. Sexy, particularly when we do the morning records. Those are nice. But I got a question for you, Garrett. Is this the one? Is this the one that's supposed to make us friends again? Because I tried again this weekend. Blade Runner, the director's cut, the original cut.
Yeah.
I still didn't get it. I really tried for you, man.
And Kristen still wants to marry you.
She didn't get it either. Like, why? The pigeon?
Okay, well then you're perfect for each other because you're both lost souls and are not worth my time.
There's nothing happening.
Okay, all right. You know what? Let's never speak of this again, or our friendship is in pure and utter jeopardy.
Let's focus on StarCraft then.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. And magic and Star Wars and an overall love of Harrison Ford, with the exception of one of his greatest movies, apparently for you. We can do all that. So our friendship will just have to go forward, as it were.
It's a little bumpy, but maybe with some counseling down the road, we can move past this.
Yes. Anyways, let's introduce our guest tonight. You're probably looking if you're watching live or you're watching on the VOD, you're looking in the lower right-hand corner. You're like, that doesn't look like Kevin Nockey. And there's a reason for that. He had to cancel. I know we said he would be on the show for 2 weeks now, and we didn't intentionally lie to you. He was just informed by Blizzard that he's not allowed to come on the show. So there's that. Would be nice of Blizzard to let us know exactly what they are doing with the IPL staff, though, if they're not going to let him talk to anyone. Come on, Blizzard. Anyways, please welcome back to the show, returning for the second time, Tobias Sherman, better known as Tumba from eSports Management. Tumba, how you doing, dude?
Yes, sir. Fine today, good sir.
Oh, God.
Very well.
We were talking like old Englishmen sitting in armchairs smoking pipes at the top of before the stream. So if you're wondering,
I'd like to see Kevin Nockey do that.
I would. Although I don't know, do you think Blizzard has the equivalent to chastity belts, but they put it on people's mouths when they get hired?
Yeah, no. I mean, so all the IPL guys are my friends, obviously, Robin and Kibbles, and I'm so happy that they ended up at Blizzard because, getting the beta cast underway at MLG, those guys put the work in, man. They put the time in. It was, they lost money and time and took shit on Liquid and Reddit. And, it was well deserved. I'm so happy they're over there. But Blizzard will take good care of them. They just have to go through the sort of processes. I think it's like Scientology, right? You can say this, you can't say this. This has to go on your Twitter, and thank you and good day.
Yeah. Do you have a phone on the surface of your desk?
I do. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Because it was making your mic wig out something fierce.
Yeah. No. My wife is locked out, and I'm considering just letting her out there. So.
Well, go run. Let her in, man.
No, this is StarCraft. This is way more important.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I will not be held responsible for any fallout.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I should.
Yeah, we can fill some time. It's cool. We'll keep fighting about Harrison Ford. Go let your wife in.
Well, wait. I had to. Did you know he was in Apocalypse Now?
Harrison Ford.
You're aware of
As
that? Okay. Well,
Colonel Lucas in like the
Yeah.
first scene.
I haven't seen that movie in so long that I honestly barely remember anything from it.
that's the only thing I remember from it was like Harrison Ford's in it, which is fantastic.
Other than like when you get a new sound system, that's one of the movies you put in to test it
Yeah.
out and see if you can make the floor rumble a bit.
Okay. You know what? I gotta go. I'll be right back. I
Okay.
do apologize.
Oh, no worries. We'll just
BRB.
we'll fill some time here. So, Kyle, all right, I've got this subject this time. You picked the filler subject last time. I'm going
All
to pick
right.
a filler subject. I have around the desk, as you can see, a butt ton of Magic cards. Why do I have a butt ton of Magic cards around the game? Well, one, I recently started playing the game back in January. My buddy Ben, you know him, Kyle. He hosts This Week in Blizz with us. Mm-hmm. He got me this box right here. What is this box right here? It is a starter kit for the current block of Magic the Gathering.
My first crack pipe, basically.
Exactly. It was like your friend buying you black tar heroin. Be
Yeah.
like, here you go, buddy. Happy birthday. Enjoy the new addiction and the itchy neck.
But I mean, that's pretty intense. Like, I mean, he ran up and like injected you. Usually, what you do to
Yeah.
people these days is you're like, "Hey, there's this real fun game on Steam. Why don't you try it out sometime?"
Yeah. Oh, Tumba's back. Well, real quick to finish up my story, I'm playing in a tournament tomorrow night for the release of Dragon's Maze. I'm so excited, and I'm probably going to get my ass handed to me.
Probably just draft really low cost things and you'll do all right.
Oh, yeah, I'm going for an aggro deck, hands down. Welcome back, Tobias.
Thank you so much. You guys talking Magic?
We are talking Magic. I'm playing an attorney tomorrow night.
Awesome sauce. Good
Yeah.
luck with that.
Yeah, it's my first one. So that should be interesting. Anyways, let's talk some StarCraft. By the way, at the top of the show, I guess we got kind of interrupted introducing you, Tobias. You work for eSports management, and you're also like one of the main forces behind kind of getting the Handsome Nerd Network together. Like, you're the reason we're broadcasting on it right now.
Yeah. HNN was sort of a brainchild of myself, Brian, and Nick and Dan, and we were thinking of sort of a little experiment we wanted to do that matches high-end figures in the StarCraft scene with grassroots. So you can have, premium, ultra premium shows mixed with grassroots shows, community-driven shows, and essentially what it would do would be grant exposure to people that deserve it. Because there's a lot of talent out there right now. There's a lot of people creating content, and we find them every day. And just like you guys, creating fantastic content, and they deserve a place to be featured. And, everybody enjoys good esports content. And if we can get a channel together that has regularly scheduled, fantastic content, why not? So that's sort of the idea of the whole thing. And, it's been a lot of fun brainstorming and getting things going for it so far.
Well, cool, man. I mean, of course, I think it's on air now. Thank you for throwing us on here.
Yeah. Well, it's still kind of beta phase, so the official we're on the soft opening, but there's going to be some exciting stuff coming up, and Twitch is going to do a formal announcement and everything else. So looking forward to that as well.
Yeah. Well, and just like with some of the other, you mentioned, Tasteless and Artosis are obviously behind this. I mean, and there's exciting stuff going on with them all the time. Like Artosis just started a brand new show.
Artosis, man, I don't know when he sleeps. So he's a father, a husband, a son, a caster. He does education. He does regular streaming. He does his show, and he flies around the world doing, major league events. The guy's an animal. He's an animal. So
Yeah.
His new show Meta is pretty awesome. I have high hopes for the show. I think it's there was a lot of drama this week over that the game, which I'm not going to touch on, but I think that both shows can coexist. Obviously, and one is going to be more, I think, the pro aspect and how the game is, and the other will be more community initiatives and how the game's evolving in that regard. And I think they would actually complement each other in that way. So, looking forward to both shows actually.
Sweet, very badass stuff. So, anyways, so there's outside of our inside baseball news, there's plenty of news within the world of StarCraft and esports and whatnot. We will be talking about the WCS North America stuff, but first, let's start off with some interesting kind of lighthearted. Let's actually talk about the game.
Ease into it.
And not things that are kind of making it not as fun. So we got our first kind of tease at changes coming to Heart of the Swarm. As a matter of fact, I think we were talking on This Week in Blizz on Monday, Kyle, that we got to the StarCraft section and we're like, man, outside of eSports, there is nothing going on. We haven't had a patch since the game launched.
It's been nice, and it's been real good for like community support of the game, for us all to just believe that it is as balanced as it possibly can be. And really, I have no major issues.
Right.
But David Kim on the forums here brings up some pretty good points. Some scary points as well when we get to the Oracle.
Yeah.
Pshaw.
Wait, okay, so just a reminder, what's your race of choice, Tobias?
Zerg.
Zerg, okay. All right, so you'll definitely have some opinions here. So, to quote David Kim, he said, the main thing we're hoping to address is the Ling Muta strategy in ZVZ. We heard your feedback on changes such as Hydralisk AA damage increase, but we'd like to go smaller in changes if possible. For example, if we increase the plus bio damage on Spore Crawlers, it would only affect the ZVZ matchup, which is a very small change, even if we go big on the plus bio damage value. And this is something they already buffed the plus damage, or plus bio damage to Spore Crawlers. This was a patch during the Heart of the Swarm beta.
Yes, did that stay? Is that still in the game?
Yeah, I believe so. So they would just be hiking it up even further.
Adjust a little more. Well, I mean, as a Zerg player, I would say I look at this kind of the other way. I'd rather have them just nerf mutas to the ground, and I think that'll take care of the whole ZVZ problem. And maybe buff zealots to help also, because in the ZVZ, if you buff zealots, it won't even affect the ZVZ matchup. So that's another good reason to. It doesn't affect it in any way. So it's along with his accordance as. No, I'm just saying the Spore Crawler only affects ZVZ, so that's what we're talking about, only affecting ZVZ, and buffing zealots will not affect that match at all. The same way as Spore Crawlers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they can buff the bio. That's fine. Buff bio. You know, I don't want to start controversy here.
No, man, keep talking because I'm trying to open up Photoshop and change the name of the show to the Troll Hour.
Yeah. No. Okay. Seriously. So, in all seriousness, no, I play Protoss, but I think that I love the way they're attacking the issues right now, and I also think it's hard to balance a mirror matchup. It's hard to make it fun, right? Because obviously you're using the same unit, so to some certain extent it has to be apples to apples. It's going to be balanced, but how can you make it fun, and how can you make it so it's not stale and repetitive? And that's a trick, man. That's a very hard trick to pull off. And I love the fact that they're just they're saying, okay, well, what can we do that only affects Zerg versus Zerg? Because that's a really easy way to take a lot of the other variables out of the equation and just say, right, here's the matchup, here's our issue, what can we do within this to fix it? But it also limits, I think, a little bit as well some of the options that they can do. But hey, I think it's a first start. I am for them doing things that would only affect the mirror matchup.
Yeah. The bonus to anti-air damage on Hydralisk is just dirty sounding. They don't have a different attack. I mean, maybe if they went back to one's spitting acid, one's doing the spines, but even then, I'm really digging seeing some battle cruisers in the air, and I'd be real sad to see a bunch of Hydras take that out. As much as I love my Zerg, and all the other races have to deal with mutas in a very similar way. Get a bunch of cannons, turrets up, and if we gotta make a bunch of static defenses to deal with them, it seems perfectly logical.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Though splash damage on those things would be quite nice. First bio only.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point. If they added the plus bio or damage or just anti-air damage to Hydralisk, that would buff them so significantly in all the other matchups. It'd be the
main thing would be versus Colossi, because those things are up in the air. I don't know. I'm sure they could turn it off or on if it counts as air, but you're getting hit by corruptors and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a little ridiculous. I will say I was disappointed when I read this. I'm like, that's all you got for us is we're just going to make Spore Crawlers even more powerful against Mutalisk. I was hoping they'd at least give us a hint of and if that doesn't work out, this is the crazy idea we're thinking about possibly implementing. I guess I'm spoiled by Heart of the Swarm now because of the beta. Because every time we got a patch in the Heart of the Swarm beta, it was crazy Christmas. Like, you opened it and crazy bullshit just ran out, slapped you in the face, and said, "This is happening, guys." We're like, I will never forget getting the text from, I think it was you, Kyle. Dude, no more. There's no more requirement to research siege mode. Mm-hmm. I was at an Italian dinner in a nice restaurant, and I interrupted everyone. I'm like, no way! Yeah. Everyone turns and looks. What's going on? Dude, I don't have to research siege mode anymore. And no one played StarCraft, so I just looked like a crazy guy.
Oh, those are the best moments.
Yeah, it was fun. Anyways,
but at this point, I would trade in my fungal growth for the crypt crawlers, crypt beans ability from Warcraft 3, just to make those mutas land, so I can hit them with some lings or something.
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. Was it only crypt fiends that had that? Wasn't there? Didn't someone on the humans have some kind of netting ability?
You could get the neutrals from the various mercenary camps.
Oh,
they had
that's
some
what I'm
net
thinking about.
abilities
Okay.
and whatnot.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And gargoyles were awesome. I wish there was something like gargoyles in StarCraft, because the idea of a melee air unit is just tickles my fancy.
I'll give you that.
I like it.
Yeah. Did you ever play Warcraft 3, Tobias?
Of course. Actually, my neighbor came running over way too overly excited for Warcraft 3. Like, when it comes to video games, I get it, man. Let's get excited. But he had somehow gotten a version of it was out before it was out in stores, and he's like, "Oh, you got to load it up and try it. You got to load it up and play it, and it's going to be fantastic." And I think he stayed up for like 3 days straight. He looked awful. He looked terrible. Like, he took 3 days off work, and I was like, "Man, I don't even want to play this game." Like, this is what it does to you. I might not be, because I might enjoy this as much as he does, and then there goes work, the social life, everything. Like, I'm not. He's a cautionary tale. I'm not. But Nick Gray, I'll never forget his name, actually. But I enjoyed Warcraft. I think I've enjoyed every Blizzard game they've ever put out, to be honest.
Yeah.
Except Diablo 3. Sorry.
I like it. It is definitely my least favorite, but I still enjoy it.
I think part of it's my own fault, because I had maybe unfair expectations.
Okay.
Mm. But the way the game looks and plays, it felt like D2 on steroids. A lot of the scaling, I didn't understand the drops and how I could get like, a sword that had plus for a magic. It just didn't. I didn't get any of that. I don't know if they changed any of that. I know Kim Rom was saying that he did another playthrough recently. It was changed and everything, and it was way better.
They have made a lot of very positive changes to the game.
That's awesome.
I do agree with you, though. I think it will always be the loot game, which is supposed to be the driving force, will always be a little gimped because of the existence of the auction house.
Yeah, I mean, not to get off topic with StarCraft, but
something we've never done on the show.
Right? Before. Yeah, it's kind of a recurring theme with me in any show I go on. But the whole thing with Diablo is dungeon crawlers, man, is the replayability factor, right? And I mean, they had some serious wins that nobody really talked about that much. Maybe they did, but
the randomized dungeons.
Yeah,
were so
that was
great.
fantastic.
Oh,
right?
There's nothing more frustrating than getting in a game with a friend and he's like, "Follow me," because he's played it so many damn times he can't even enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. The Covetous Shen was fantastic. He was the voice actor for I'm sorry about my phone. It was the voice actor from I'm gonna think of it. Kung Fu Panda plays the dad. He was also the voice actor.
Oh, yeah, the duck, the noodle folk duck.
That guy, and he was the guy that you meet in the sewer section, and he's hiding in a barrel, and that whole voice acting was just fantastic. And I'm seeing in chat, huge shout out. Also in Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China, yeah.
Yeah, which is one of the best movies, better than Blade Runner.
Get out.
Oh!
Hitting the hang up button now. Whatever. I give up. I have lost control of the Blade Runner is a good movie reigns on this show. So
Outnumbered.
I'm done. I give up. Anyways, let's bring it back into StarCraft. David Kim went on to talk about other stuff. He said he hopes that there'll be more infestors come into play in the mass muta on muta battles, and or bring the fight more so to the ground, because it'll be more easily possible to stay on the ground due to less resources on defense needed to fend off mutalisk attacks. which is cool. I like it when, at the very least, he gives me a boring change, but at least backs it up with his brain vomit, which is good.
When we saw that in the Codesk group with Life, where he basically won by continually attacking the front over and over while his opponent was too busy with drops. So if you have a decent defense in your main base and this works out, you could absolutely do something like Roach Hydra and just school across the entire map. And he's too busy. He's trying to get in your base. Nothing's happening. At least that's my hope.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, put on your nightmare blankets because it's about to get really scary in here. He said a few other things that they're thinking about
Nothing
changing.
to see here, my good man. Nothing to see. Moving on. Yes. Next subject matter. Rumph.
All right, you guys ready to be scared? Possible buff to the Oracle movement speed. So going to be moving faster. So
I can go on for 15 years about the Oracle.
Love it.
Straight. I could sit in this chair, get me sustenance, and a pillow to take occasional naps. But why haven't people been using? Let's forget the speed for a second. Let's throw that out the window. Mm-hmm. Why haven't been people using the other abilities, which are insane? Revelation. I mean, you get a full 60 seconds to see whatever you can.
Massive area and detection.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
And there's nobody talking about this. Everything's about the Widow Mine. I don't think anybody uses it because they're like, well, I'm just going to fly some oracles over here, kill every SCV, and victory. Like, this thing does other things too? Wait.
So your argument, you just answered your own argument. The reason no one's using the other abilities is because they can win with one ability.
I mean, it's like, I don't get it. I mean, well, here's the thing. Okay. So, Wings of Liberty, when it first came out of beta, one of the issues was, of course, you had to get a sentry out to force field your ramp. And then people were kind of like, okay, this is actually ridiculous. Because if I miss one force field, Terran wins. And all the Terran would do, and I don't blame them, would be, send one Marauder, 2 Marines immediately there as fast as they can and expand behind it. So, they're getting there when you only have a couple of units out. If you don't force field, they're just massing units outside your main. And it's very hard to break. It's almost like a siege situation within the first 6 minutes. Yep. Then we move out through beta, and, there's some tweaks. And I think that Protoss, and I'm talking now where the show I feel should talk, which is, say, Diamond and below. Because I think that's where we all are qualified to talk, to be honest.
Right. This is the everyman show.
Yeah, right. So I feel like Protoss players have a hard time expanding. It's one of the harder races to expand with. You don't have liftoff. Zerg has some natural abilities that they can use early to kind of curb any type of aggression.
Do you feel that's less true now with Photon Overcharge? Because that move is freaking horrifying.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. So Photon Overcharge actually isn't as scary as, again, in the lower league, it's not that bad. It's bad. It
says the Protoss.
No. Honestly, it curbs a lot of cheese, but it's not going to save your ass. It's not a save your ass button by any means. Like, it's not like a planetary fortress that you can sit there and repair and it shoots all the time, right? It's got a timer on it. So, I mean, if you get the drop on the Protoss, as many times happens to me, it's not there so you can do whatever the hell you want and just macro up. I feel like it does what it's supposed to do, which is kind of curb any of that early shenanigans and allow. Yes, I do feel like the Protoss, but I'm going to tie this back into the Oracle. Everyone is so transfixed right now with the Widowmine. I'm calling it right now. Once people start playing the game and figuring it out more, Oracle speed is not going to be the big issue. I mean, nothing. It's all going to be these other spells that I can't believe. I mean, they're so great, and I don't even use them. But I think that the entire point of HOTS, with some of these fantastic changes, you cannot think like a player. It's better to think like a fan. And I'll tell you why. Everything they're doing is making the game more exciting to watch at the highest level. And to me, that's like what's most important. Until it breaks it completely in a league where it's like, okay, no Zerg can get out of, Platinum because this is so broken. Then it's in, then you might want to bring it in for an adjustment. But and it's something that Artosa said to me is, don't think of it as a player because you suck. Think of it as a viewer, and it's right. They should balance for the top, of course, and and that's why I feel like this change. If the pros are cool with it, I'm cool with it. Like,
yeah. David Kim said this is to reward high-skilled usage of oracles.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Terran have had the drop, and I say Terran because I feel like the oracles work best against Terran. And I feel like, in Wings of Liberty, Terran, and this is going back to our skill level, Terran have had the luxury of being able to sit behind their wall off, scan if they wanted to, do whatever they really want, and they never really had to scout. And I was always thinking, if you can get a proxy pylon off, you should be really rewarded for that. So, because Zerg always have to scout, right? They have to get lings out. They have to make sure they're constantly moving. And I'm like, how hard would it be to take a single Marine and move it around the map? Well, now with all these proxy Stargates, I'm starting to see tons of people on these Terrans moving Marines around the map, and I love that. Like, that's a great change, and I think that now Terran have to think twice before saying, okay, I'm just going to mass a quick army, I'm going to go 6 racks and move across the map, because now they have DT drops to contend with. They also have oracles to contend with, so they have to be a little bit better in their scouting, and they just have to prepare a little bit better. And this kind of allows Protoss to expand themselves and maybe an extra warp in or two to deal with a lot of the issues that we see these lower league players face as Protoss. A lot of the challenges. Every race has their challenges, right? They're all hard to play. I mean, there's not an easy win button, but the Oracle sometimes feels like it.
Yes, at times. It kind of takes me back to Wings of Liberty beta when it was just like, I'm just going to make nothing but Void Rays, and I'm going to win. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not dissing it because if you're decent at all, it is something you can deal with. Because they still die fast. They have no life.
They're expensive. I mean, and I remember Flux Veins, and that was the upgrade that would make them move faster. And I think that the Void Ray has always been one of my favorite units. It just, there is something about, I think anybody that plays Protoss or anybody that even tries Protoss at one point is like, I'm just going to mass Void Rays. Have you ever played a 2v2 game? Mm-hmm. Every Protoss is just mass Void. Like you got Zerg and okay, I'll make Void Rays. Like, we're good. Yep. We're fine. You guys just do 6 pool. You make a bunch of Marines. I'm just going to make all Void Rays. And, a lot of times it's 9 minutes in the game and the Zerg and Terran have already won it, and you roll over with your 50 Void Rays, and it's more just a demoralizer than anything else. Like, the game's already over. Is this like, really happening? That it's done now for sure. Like, it's such a sexy unit to mass. But
it's funny you're talking about thinking of it like a fan, and coming into StarCraft 2 from Brood War and the original StarCraft, the Void Ray, I think, more than any other new unit, became immediately like a flagship. Like, I just immediately accepted it. Like, this, everything about it, the flavor, the look, the abilities, seems like something that the Protoss should have always had.
Well, it's classic Crystal tech.
What was that?
It's classic Crystal tech. You have a prism that is shooting lasers.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Lasers. Lasers.
Next patch, man. When you hit level 35 on the Protoss, you're gonna get a shark skin for your Void Ray.
That'd be pretty awesome. That flying shark in the GFL. But it's clear that Blizzard had a lot of these from a viewpoint in mind when they made these. I mean, all these timed abilities, the Oracle, the overcharge ability. My personal favorite as a viewer is Widowmine and Blink right now, because they chose to have that Widowmine missile go up into the air just a little bit, take that extra half a second before it hits, and now we're watching players blink out of the way.
I know exactly the game you're talking about. Parting's first couple games.
Yes, it was
ridiculous blink micro.
Didn't have any detection, just knew there'd be a couple there, and went in with one, blinked it out of the way. Hey, he messed up a few times, but of course, with time, I mean, we're talking a year and a half in the future, we're going to see some badass blinks happening.
Once you get that timing down, and I mean, it takes a while before it reloads and shoots again, right? Let's face it. Like, I think that they have a unit in a good place. If they're, I don't understand, and this again from a lower league guy, right? Again, diamond and under. I don't understand the big deal about the Widowmine. The thing takes forever to shoot. You make an observer. Use some stalkers. Even if they're getting to your mineral line, I mean, you should open Robo then. I mean, if that's what you're facing in your league, then prepare for it. Just like Tyrion has to prepare for, the Oracle. But, I mean, I love to see more intricate skill-based play like that. It's exactly what you're talking about. Like, oh, he sees it firing, blink out. Like that, that's insane. That's fantastic.
I am very, and it's not even because my main race is Terran. I'm very pro Widowmine. I love what it has done as a spectator, what it's done for the game. It's just so damn interesting. And as I off race as Zerg, so you just keep a overseer in front of your army at all times, and then you just go set it off with one Zergling and you're done. And watching pros do it is great because they're super fast. It's ridiculous. They've always got their little. They're basically leading their armies with overseers. Yeah.
I mean, it's. I feel like that's a good unit. I think it's getting a lot of negative attention. I could be wrong. Hey, if they're gonna nerf it, what am I gonna say? I'm Protoss. Like, oh well, guys.
Oops.
Sorry. Like,
I'll live there. The last thing they're thinking about changing is the burrow cost. They're thinking about bringing the cost down or bringing the research time down. And they said that's because in the beginning of Heart of the Swarm, early burrow attacks showed some decent potential, but they really never seed anymore. So they'd like to add more variety to the opening Zerg. I'm all for it. It's pretty much the same rationale they had for adding the boost to the medevacs. They were just like, at Blizzard, we liked seeing drops, and they went away. So we're going to make them good again.
Let me apologize. I'm sorry. I have a client on the iPhone. I'm stuttering because I'm so embarrassed right now. I did listen to everything you just said. And
don't worry yourself.
Again, I think it comes down to, is this going to be more exciting? Is it going to give lower leagues headaches? Yeah, okay, it's going to give, but they're going to learn to adjust, right?
Yep.
And they're going to learn to get better or quit. So they can go play Dota. But
hey, don't insult Dota like that. They're going to go play LoL.
No, but that's absolutely true. Yeah, well, I guess you're right there. But yeah, you're tired after a night of RTS. What do you end up doing? Usually a MOBA.
Yep.
I can't do both.
I've been playing Smite, man. I've been enjoying that game.
It sucks because I love both so much.
Oh, but you're all or nothing. You need to invest yourself full into a game.
Yeah. Well, I'm a StarCraft. I have a sickness. Like, I can play. I think I played like 63 games over 3 days. Doesn't sound like a lot. Does not. Factor in running a business and 2 kids and a wife. That's a lot of games.
I'm about to say, I'm not married, I don't have
not
kids,
a lot of sleep.
And I don't rank up that many games in 3 days.
With no improvement. I'm the guy that's on the driving range that's like, holy shit, look at this kid. Like got all the nice golf clubs, shoes, the outfit. I look like a pro. I get on the range.
You're slicing it like
No, tee it high, let it fly. I'm hitting these nice little fades. What do you want? To cut, fade, whatever. Hitting them, da-da-da. You put me on the first tee, duck hook, slice. Like, that's how it is I feel in StarCraft. Like, I got my great setup, my TT eSports, I got everything all ready to go. The mouse, I got the white raw mouse pad, special tactics. How could I not be a Masters? Hello, white raw mouse pad? Like, everybody.
Tactics, man. Tactics.
Everybody. Even if you play Zerg and you use a white raw mouse pad, you're going to be better. Like, hello. I got my blue microphone so I could yell at people. If I could yell at people, they can't hear me. But if they could hear me, it would be clear. And, and I refuse to watch my replays. I'm like, no, I lost. That's a balance issue. I made every correct decision there. Why should I have to make an observer? Why don't my zealots just beat everything? And I sit there and then I actually do beat myself up, and I call my friend Simon and we sit and review and that's what's really great, right? Because now they have that whole feature where you can, jump in and go back and play against a buddy.
It's so wonderful.
It is.
It's great.
Hats off to Blizzard, man. They did it right.
Should have been in the first game, but yes.
Yeah, should have been. But I'm sorry. So back to the Burrow. Lower league wise, I think it's going to be great to watch at the high level. I think that Burrow is an interesting factor, and it also is going to make. I'm not sure how it's going to affect each matchup. In other, because I think that with the Forge Fast expand, you almost have to go Robo anyway. You're going to have to get a Colossus at some point. So I want to say that I don't even feel like it's going to be that big a deal in PvZ. Maybe more so in ZVT, or I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think.
Well, Kyle, you're the resident Zerg.
It's the bare knuckles, rip your shirt off before you get in the fight that is ZVZ would just be thrown into such madness with both players burrowing. I mean, if you have even 2 roaches hanging out in someone's base and you're microing them and throwing them up and down and up and down, trying to kill that one queen, and it's transfusing, and then the lings are running in, like, it would be the most stressful but awesome thing to watch. The other ones, I don't know if I'd use it because I have a love affair with Swarm Host right now, and I don't want to give away my burrowed hand.
I'll say you have. We played some 2s this week, and you were using them all the time, even when not necessary.
Even when I shouldn't be, yes.
Exactly.
No,
I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, there's a Protoss Deathball on our doorstep. What are you doing? I've got Swarm Hosts going into their natural. Anything else? Nope.
Nope.
You know,
we
we
have protection. It's fine.
You know we have them completely contained, right, Kyle? You need mutas to get in there, and I'm like, well,
every game I'm sitting there just, why hasn't he made mutas yet? Why the hell hasn't he?
It's the difference between
they
like,
self-heal now. They're so good.
I know, but it's like the difference between dancing on a grave and like just holding a man by the balls. And that's the wonderful thing about Swarm Host, because you got him there. And you're not winning per se in any like in any great hurry, but you know you've won.
The people who played us in 2v2 this past week could make an argument to the contrary.
3 of those 4 people, but one of them felt the sting.
One of them felt the sting.
Again, it's another fantastic unit to watch. If you guys remember the game, there's very few times I'll call Artosis or text Artosis or Nick when they're casting, but I watched Flying versus DRG. Oh my god. I was like, Artosis, do you even know what you just casted right there? Like, that, do you get the insanity? And he's like, I'm pretty sure I do. I just fucking watched it, like, live, but in Seoul, Korea. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, it's amazing. Oh my god. And it's one of the moments where we kind of saw all of it come together, where the Swarm Hosts were being used, and then they unburrowed, and it was just at the wrong time. Because it was one of those things where all of Flying's units were just coming over to attack, and it's that nail-biting moment that you're watching, and everybody that enjoys esports knows this moment where it's like you see the unburrow happen, and all of a sudden they're completely exposed, and you're like, because we've all been there. It's like, no! And you almost feel bad for the other guy. Even though I was rooting for Flying, I was like, I felt really bad for DRG, because I'm like, oh, I know how this feels, and I can relate to this. And
that was an awesome match.
Yeah, and it just went on for like
50
minutes. Flying, hour or Flying was forgetting that he could make a mothership core. Like, he's forgetting the new units. Like, Flying is a totally cheesy player too that just makes up stuff as he goes. And I think one of the cool things about Flying was the fact that he's not a macro player, and now he's in this hour-long game. Like, oh my god, I don't play this long. What do I make? Mothership core. Yes, I have one. Oh, no, I don't have one. I gotta make one. And he's forgetting units, and DRG he looked a little bit out of shape, and he's like, I made a bunch of these new units. Let's see what they can do, And it was just really, really fun. Yeah. Great. Again, the Swarm Host, the changes, the new units, all fun to watch.
Yep, it's good stuff. Anyway, we can wrap up that topic. Let's move on to the drama of the week. It seems like we have a new piece of drama every week now, which is it's sad.
Well, and Garrett, you and I aren't pitchfork people.
So no. I'm pretty sure we have shit on our StarCraft enough on this show for people to understand that.
Yeah, so we're going to skip that part here. But I just want everyone to know that we have to fathom when these sort of things happen, that we do investigative journalism to understand why people are upset. And in this case, actually, it's warranted to an extent.
No, this is one of the few times I pretty much, like, you know me. I am a Blizzard apologist by nature. I love all of their games. I defend Diablo 3, a game for which I was not even excited for.
Sorry.
It's okay. But I really think they screwed the pooch on WCS, and I don't know. At the end of the day, like I said, my troll reaction is I don't give a crap. The best players are gonna win, and that's all I want to see. I want to go to BlizzCon, and I want to see the best damn players in the finals.
Well,
Which,
particularly
by the way, got a BlizzCon ticket. Fist pump.
Yeah, no, we both got them.
Oh, see you guys there.
Yeah. Oh, nice. You're going.
Awesome.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, we need to have a drink, sir.
A drink?
We need to have multiple drinks, sir.
And there you go, sir. Yes, sir.
I
say, bartender, keep them coming.
I'll bring the robes and pipes.
Yeah, fantastic.
But non-troll aside, like, it just could have been done. Everything about WCS could have been done so much better. But let's get into the discussion for this week. The big problem was we had the WCS North American, or just American qualifiers. MLG ran it. It was a 512 player qualifier over the course of, was it 3 days?
Yep, artificially lengthened out for viewers so that they could keep that content going, which didn't work out for them.
No, there were a lot of issues. There's a wonderful TL post that kind of just bullet listed all the problems that was going on. Who posted this real quick so I can give credit? It was posted by MV Taylor. But the big thing was, correct me if I'm wrong, the biggest problem or the biggest complaint from everyone was that a hacker made it really far.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, and that really highlighted some of the problems with this kind of tournament.
You need good admins. And I'm friends with a lot of the MLG admins. And it's, look, back in my early days at ASCW, we ran grassroots tournaments up through Grandmasters. Every day was a different one. Bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, masters, and then Grandmasters on its own. Every day. And we casted matches. It was a round of 32. Started off 32-man bracket, I believe, and it always filled up. We always filled up with about 30 alternates. So we could have run 2 brackets. My point is, it's so hard to admin one of these tournaments. Everybody's bothering you for something stupid, and when they're not bothering you for something stupid, they're not doing something right or registering the correct way, and it's very, very difficult. So, all in all, one cheater is what we heard about. I call that a win. I mean, people might think I'm crazy, but in the reality of the situation, look, an online qualifier is going to have cheaters. That's all there is to it. There's going to be no sound way to stop it at this point. So, you just need great admins. And it highlights the fact of how important the admin job is. These people they remind me of like map makers, right? Because they're kind of the unsung heroes of StarCraft. They're typically not paid. They have to deal with a lot of BS. And, I credit the admins for the job they did.
Agreed. Some of the other issues that were brought up, though, were the artificial cap of 512 players. So there were multiple, what people considered more worthy pro players that were not allowed to get in because it was filled up with sub-masters players.
Well, and that's one of the issues here. I mean, MLG definitely wants to have that place where you have the open bracket, but that was isolated by, affording actual tickets to the live event and being there in person and all these other factors that, if in that situation, if you're a Masters player and you didn't get to participate, well, you saved yourself a plane ticket and all these things. It was $18 to get involved. And if a bronze player took your place, someone who's just doing it maybe for funsies or because they're delusional, who knows, it would be upsetting.
I registered for not Code S. That'd be funny.
I was about to say.
Maybe it was the qualifiers, Code S qualifiers. And I was legitimately a silver player right when it came out, like after beta and everything. And they let me register from the States as a silver player. True story. I could have gone to Korea, and then obviously I gave it up. I'm like, I'm not coming to Korea. I'm not going. It's a joke. I just wanted to see if I could register and say I was registered and get this email from GOM. But you bring up a great point. In this particular situation, and I'm really glad you brought it up because I think right now, and I hope that I'm trying to find the words. This is something that's really important to me because I think there's a way this can be done that is entertaining and fair to players and a win-win for everybody, meaning the advertisers and everything. And I think they're kind of going about it wrong. And and this is going to touch on a few subjects that we're talking about in the notes here.
Yeah.
I like to picture it like this. They're trying to do everything. They're trying to make the Masters, I'm going to use a golf analogy again. They're trying to make the Masters, the U.S. Open, the European Open, and the PGA Tour event. Those are your 4 majors, okay? They're trying to make this one tournament all those 4 things. Newsflash, Blizzard, admire your ambition. Awesome job on the ambition. Love you for it. But you're trying to do too much.
Yeah.
You're trying to do too much. Don't be the U.S. Open. Don't be the Masters. Don't be the EU Open. Don't be the PGA Tour. Stop. Be that, right? Because you are like the PGA Tour. It's your game, right? So be one of the 4 majors, and let's let these other events happen that are, you have the U.S. Open, you have a European Open, and then you have, whatever the Blizzard's doing, and that'll be the version of the PGA Tour stop, and then the Masters. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll have a surprise there. Maybe we'll have another tournament coming up. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I really feel like a mixture of independent initiatives can only help this. I mean, I've been behind the scenes at MLG, and I don't care what anybody says their favorite tournament is. DreamHack's got fantastic production. Granted, they do. I love watching DreamHack, but when I first brought my mom behind the scenes at MLG and she saw everything that went into it, she was like, I get it. I don't get it, but I get it, because it is impressive. It's impressive. Yeah. And I feel like to kind of lump all that in isn't really fair, man. It's not. MLG should have their own moment. They deserve it. Yeah. They deserve it. Blizzard should have, sure as hell, they should have their own moment, but they're trying to do all of them together. And in trying to control all this content, it's actually having an adverse effect, and this is what we see happen.
Right. We've been getting a lot of emails from people, from new players and newcomers to this scene, that are like, listen, I've never watched an esport game in my life of any game, not even StarCraft, and the question we keep getting is like, can you break this down? Like, what do I watch? How was one thing feeding to the other? And I think that's what Blizzard was trying to combat. They're like, hey, well, let's unify it so everyone knows that this is... But I think they've had the opposite effect. In my mind, This is so much more ass backwards and hard to comprehend than it was before. And it's diminishing from the tournaments that were going to happen regardless of WCS. GSL now had its prize pool pretty much cut in half for this season.
Yeah, players aren't happy.
No.
Korean players aren't happy, and it could have gone a lot worse. I'm going to be 100% honest. It could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. But
you've got super talented individuals out there doing their best right now to bring the greatest content. Total Biscuit's got this fantastic tournament going on coming up. Starcraft America. I can't wait for it myself. And of course, Nick and Dan. And, you got Codes and the folks over at NASL Bitter and Froden and all my guys over there, and it kind of feels like Blizzard's going to pick winners and losers in this. Like, okay, well, you're going to be involved and you're going to be involved because you have a studio, and well, we'll build a studio, and it's like, well, we already have a studio, we're not involved. This is all unnecessary, man. And I get it. I understand the mentality of where they're coming from and their business office and but sometimes you need to step outside of that. And there are times where, look, esports is not like regular sports, but that doesn't mean we can't take a page out of it. And we're going to make mistakes along the way. I think this is just growing pains right now, and I'm grateful that Blizzard has invested what they did into esports, right? And I'm sure they're going to, one thing that that Sundance said, he said, we'll do what we always do. We'll learn from our mistakes and we'll get better. And I'm sorry, Sonny, if I'm misquoting you, but you get the point. And I have to say, who has done better at improving than MLG? Think about where they were in Dallas to Ohio to what was the big stop? I cast it there and I can't remember the city.
Anaheim?
No, in Ohio.
In Ohio,
Columbus.
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 Thank you. Columbus was a huge success. That was their first on-air success because it was a disaster trying to use the Octoplay or whatever it was in Dallas, and then, you know, segueing through, and you know, they learn each time, they get better and better. Then they added the beta streams, and you know, they had some fantastic, super handsome, super intelligent casters for that. Very smart, maybe even rivaled the main desk in certain times. Just saying. But
go look Tumba up on Wikipedia if you're not catching this reference.
But no, they look, and even with the beta streams, they weren't like, you guys have to cast like this, you need to do this. They were more like, okay,
just don't say the F word, we're good.
Yeah,
thanks,
pretty much,
man.
like, yeah, here's the reins, go. We're gonna learn from you as much as you're gonna learn from us. Let's make this the best we can. And I love that. Like, I think that Blizzard needs to do that, right? Blizzard needs to like let go a little bit, so it will become better. Because, like you said, I think it kind of had the adverse effect. It sounded to me like word around the campfire was there was a saturation of too many events. Well, okay, well, let it run its course. There's only so many sponsors. There's only so much infrastructure. There's only so much that people will support. So it's going to correct itself on its own. Don't worry about controlling the content. That is going to find a natural level. It always does.
But I see why they were scared, because they have a very reliable source of income and numbers from World of Warcraft, and they see every time they put out an expansion, all these people come flocking back. Maybe they don't stay too long, but everyone's paying attention. People are checking the forums every day, checking out MMO Champion, and they had an opportunity to siphon all these people who were going to play only the single player into esports and get them interested. And their idea was, we'll give them a storyline, not only just, here's Leenock. He won MLG and now he's competing in GSL. How awesome is that? No, now you can say something like, here's Leenock. He earned 200 points at the previous thing, giving him this placement in this tournament. Everything ties together in a perfect little happy box, and everyone's enjoying and having a good time.
You're gonna kill me, but I want to go back. I want to go back to a golf reference. Go back to the money list. I mean, it's the simplest way to rank players. How much money did you win? Like, you're not going to win the most money not being the best. Why do we need all these points and all this? It's too complicated for me. I'm sorry.
I agree.
And they're kind of looking at it wrong. They want to see, the winner of the tournament be the big story. But often, like, if you're trying to get into esports right now, I would say go watch a whole bunch of different players and find someone you're really damn like, and then follow them through the tournaments, because that's how you're going to learn what tournaments are going on and what you enjoy.
You brought up a point, number one, talking about refusing to allow any community broadcasters to show any of the other game on the matches that had any meaning to them, and those were reserved for the replay broadcasts, along with the games, all the games for qualification in the winners bracket. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I would love. I'm sorry. Let me pre-apologize to Axeltoss, who I love, who I campaigned to get on the beta streams. He's great. I love him. I love his casting. I think it's come so far. Let me apologize to anybody I might upset about this ahead of time. And I think they're going to know where I'm going to go with this. I don't care, man. Let me choose my caster. I don't care. We're in a technology world now where we can choose our casters. If 55 casters want to cast this, and I enjoy watching these two over these two, then let them do it, for God's sakes. Get multiple coverage of it. I mean, that's just my opinion. I might be wrong, but coming from a guy that sat here casting 5 days a week, to the beta streams, and just absolutely poured my heart and soul into StarCraft, I know there's 10 other guys out there trying to do that right now, and you may as well give them a chance, because they're going to put out the best they possibly can, and they care, and that's what matters. I'm not saying Axeltoss and those guys don't. They're obviously going to get the most views anyway, and they should. But I don't like the idea of restricting sort of these replays and just relegating them to the best. But I mean, there's business choices, right? There's ad revenue, and there's all this you have to contend with. So
and non-competes. I mean, we saw this with NASL. They really wanted to cast these events. I mean, they're going to be great games, and they wanted to have at it, but Blizzard wouldn't let them. This would be a different situation if the WCS website was up and working, and we had a formal WCS stream where you get all your content right away. But right now, it's divided up into different sections. It's hard to follow, and why not just let everyone have at it?
So, to borrow a line from Star Wars, are you saying that the more Blizzard tightens its grip, the more systems will slip through their fingers?
Yes.
That's all I have to say. I'm not as cute as Carrie Fisher was back then, but I'm definitely cuter than she is now. But
Fantastic. Yeah. I'm eating salad because I'm fat, but I will mute the mic.
So for the podcast audience, since you couldn't see Tumba and it would have gone under the radar, now you know he's eating on air. He's chewing right now. Chew, 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 chew.
But you can't tell. This is fucking delicious, by the way.
Oh God, my hatred for salad. Anyways, other issues. Hyun played. He was ineligible to play because he also competed in Code S, but they took so long to disqualify him that he actually knocked players out, and it counted against them, even though they were knocked out by a player who should not have been in the tournament in the first place. Kind of screwy. Same complaint with anyone who was knocked out by the guy hacking.
Now, there has been, they have worked this out. They're going to get invited. Okay, go over.
Yeah, continue. It's, what are they calling it? The Open Qualifier for Challenger League.
Yes, the Challenger League.
Anyone that was knocked out by Hyun or the cheater will have a second chance to play. But it's still BS because they put in their time. They stressed themselves out to a point where I'm sure they were like, they had to change their clothes afterwards. They were probably sweating so damn much. Now they got to go do it again. I don't envy those guys. I feel very bad for them. Just a bunch of stuff. We were kind of teasing on Monday, Kyle, on our other show about like why don't they have a show for this? That was or a show page. They don't. Why isn't there a Blizzard WCS page with all the information I could possibly ever want? Why do I have to go to Liquipedia for this? Granted, I probably would anyway. But those new players we were talking about, those new people coming into the scene who aren't familiar with esports, they're going to take one look at the Team Liquid page and get scared to death because there's about 23 different boxes with 8-point font squished together and you don't know you can't make heads or tails of anything. They'd rather go to StarCraft2.com, see on the front page, a link to WCS, and have everything there with pretty little Baneling images in the corner.
Exactly, and the non-compete agreements that they were passing out would make a lot more sense in that situation. Right. But here, we find ourselves in an awkward world where things seem rushed, and I understand why they're rushed. Blizzard, like I said, wanted to funnel those people into the game, make sure that this could be a big event right off the back, so maybe people who even did pick it up go in 2 months go, oh, wow, really? And I haven't even missed the biggest event of the year, and this is going to count? Well, I didn't miss anything. It's awesome. Let's all get on board.
Yep. So, anyways, both Blizzard and MLG did a big response to all this. Sorry, Tumba, are you saying something?
No, I was going to say, I don't want to have an abacus to figure out. And I turned my webcam off because it's just rude to eat in front of you guys. But and the audience, sorry, audience. You mentioned an Italian dinner, and I got hungry, and I'm fat. So, yes. So, I don't want a fucking abacus to figure out what the fuck's going on. Pardon my language, but seriously, like, simplify it. That's it.
Yes, please, for the love of God. There's a really good GameSpot article by Slasher this past week with, or just today, I believe, with both Blizzard and MLG's response to all these concerns. And this is really what kind of just, as I was saying earlier, Kyle, where I'm always like, well, no, I'm usually on Blizzard's side, but like a lot of their responses, I'm just like, this is crap. Like, your answers just piss me off more. And you know me. That's not usually me.
Yeah. They're doing what they can to fix the situation, but ultimately, they rush themselves, and they put themselves in a bad position.
To explain myself real quick, to quote them, they on the subject of, well, people were locked out because we had sub-master people taking up spots. What are you going to do about that? They said, we do plan on giving priority to Master and Grandmaster level players. The WCS America Challenger League Open Qualifier this weekend will be restricted to Master and Grandmaster level players only. Why the shit wasn't that the way it was from the goddamn get-go?
I don't know, man.
That is the stupidest freaking thing I've ever heard.
That blows my mind. You have a system. You have a system in-game that ladders people and organizes them for you so you can run events like this. Yeah. And maybe this is an issue because of actual like participation from the teams. Maybe they were like, well, you can't go doing that because our guys all play with each other, and they're not laddering. And in fact, their ladder's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
The good point there is the system's already in place, for the love of God. Who was the guy going, well, I've got an idea. We've got this fantastic system called the ladder. First thing we do, throw that right out. Anybody can come. And then somebody goes, yeah, I second that motion. That's a great idea. Because then we can fill this bitch up with bronze players that have no chance of ever winning in a million years unless they're cheating, and Masters and GM don't get in. That makes so much sense. And then they can write an article about how we fucked up later, and we'll have advertising on that article for Warcraft. And we'll just convert another gamer. I'm wondering if that's like sort of the Illuminati style, like back end kind of like thinking of it. Because you're right, like the system was fucking there. You just, what, fuck's sake.
The reason I get so incredibly angry about this kind of is because I love Blizzard. I have a big, huge nerd boner for Blizzard. If you were to come to me and say, Garrett, who's your favorite video game developer? I would look you in the eyes and without a lie I would say Blizzard. All you StarCraft players that hate WoW, I don't care. It is the best frickin' MMO ever made. It is a good game. I will defend them to the death. The reason I love them so much is they're known for baking shit so long until they have squeezed any ounce of bugs, crappy balance, and shit gameplay completely out. It is gone. They don't put out a game every year because Activision's like, well, shit, we need another Call of Duty. Let's put another Call of Duty out. I don't care if there's nothing new in it. They take their time. They wait till it's perfect. And this seems like the most rushed thing they've ever done, and it shows.
Well, but it's from the outside too, because like we said earlier, they were trying to organize all these tournaments that were raring to go. In fact, I mean, we had an MLG the weekend after release of this game. So clearly Blizzard freaked out, and they had a lot of pressure, probably that they imagined for themselves. I mean, if we would have gone half a year without WCS organizing this, we would have been okay. That all being said, all this trashing on WCS, it could be really awesome one day, and everyone is working to make it better. No one's just going, well, that's it, and Blizzard's, throwing in the towel.
Right. I'm not betting against them. You'd be crazy to bet against them. You'd be crazy. I mean, they're going to get it right. I mean, and look, I don't care what you say. If you made a game, and somebody made a game out of your game, and then that game became more popular than your game and did something that was even more grandiose in terms of esports and had more viewers, that's going to sting.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Blizzard All-Stars. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, me too.
Played a lot of League of Legends, played a lot of Dota. Love both games. Currently, probably Dota a little bit more. Dota just feels a little more StarCraft to me. No slight to League of Legends, though. I mean, it's a great game. It's a personal preference. But, again, you can't just go, okay, this worked for them. Let's just add our touch to it. Use some common sense. Draw from regular sports. It's okay to do that. And, best laid plans, man. This is a huge initiative. And I just, let's not forget, hey, Blizzard invested into esports. A lot of money. Thank you. But your grip statement from Star Wars, the Star Wars quote about it's kind of true. Like, I feel like they should allow the natural course and state of things to progress on its own without controlling it. They can control their one tournament, and that's great.
Yeah.
But the others, the unification, not so much.
Yep. Agree. I mean, the reason, in my opinion, that StarCraft 2 esports it's so amazing is because of what has grown from the community without Blizzard support, and I don't see why we need a direct injection of a point system from them to make it better. I don't know. That's my end thought. Am I excited for BlizzCon? Yes. Am I stoked for the WCS finals at BlizzCon? I can't wait. You know why? Because of this screwy point system, it's pretty much going to be the JSL finals, and I'm pretty freaking excited about seeing a Code S Finals on American soil again.
And you know what? Everybody's going to be like, this was amazing. This was awesome. This was so good. And all this other bullshit. And it's not bullshit. I mean, I shouldn't say bullshit, right? It's all relevant. As long as they learn from the mistakes, fantastic. But, like, I'm looking forward to that moment where everyone's high-fiving. And, man, do you remember this part of that match? And this is great. And then it's anecdotal where, you can kind of reference it later on in future discussions. And it goes in the annals of, esports history. And that's what it's going to be, man. It's going to be fantastic. BlizzCon, the energy there alone is going to be, I mean, it could be, Tommy Mixamp versus Cindy Puff the Magic Dragon that made it out of bronze. And it's going to be Artosis would cast the shit out of that game. You know what I mean? It won't matter because the energy is going to be so high.
Well, because Cindy, whatever you called her, is going to cannon rush, and that's going to make Tasteless's day.
Hey, man. I've tried tasteless builds. Evidently, they only work for tasteless. I've actually raged on him over both Skype and about any technology you could imagine. Like, this build doesn't fucking work. I don't understand. How do you get 45 Tempests out in the first 8 minutes? What are you talking about? I don't even know. But make cannons with the extra mineral. How many cannons? That many cannons? That's going to look like bronze. It worked? Okay, I'll try it. It never works. Like his tasteless build for the Tempest, it works. But you have to take a third. I play Protoss. Fuck are you talking about take a third? What is a third? I didn't even know we could take a third. I can get a third Nexus? You're fucking kidding me. Like, no, 2 base timings. That's all. Give me some Void Rays, a Colossus, a couple of charge lots, and I'm happy.
Yep.
Win or lose, like, we're good. But, no, yeah, it's going to be great because the energy is going to be high, and that's my point is, BlizzCon, it's got all the right ingredients to be an epic finale, and I think it'll be the cherry on top of a very messy, sloppy Sunday.
I'm so sad that your camera wasn't on for your rant just then because that was amazing.
Sound flying everywhere.
Yeah. So before we shift gears, any final thoughts, Kyle?
No, I mean we have a big pile of different community members talking out this past week. Words like total disaster are used. It's pretty intense. Digest what you want. It's in our show notes.
Yeah, we got to go. Just honorable mention. All the links are in the show notes. Total Biscuit put out another podcast with well done thoughts. Root Cats defended MLG brilliantly. He said people should stop bashing on MLG for letting hackers play. They took care of a shitty, tough situation as best they could. They had to contact Blizzard as well. At the end of the day, this is Blizzard's baby. It's not easy to take or to make decisions without them. There was some really good StarCraft posts. I know we give them crap, but every now and then there is some great cream right on the top of that. Can we keep MLG management separate from MLG casters? Exaltos and Axelab did great this weekend. I love seeing that kind of stuff. NESL kind of shit all over MLG on the Pulse, so go check that out.
That was, I mean, we were talking about that earlier, but, they were told they couldn't cast those games. It seemed a little awkward for them to do that. But, I mean, that's what the show's about. You need to criticize.
I was impressed that they were being honest on a show that's, about a professional tournament. So
Me too. Me too.
It was nice.
I dug it.
Yeah. So
it was. I think I'm curious. If they were allowed to cast it also, would they have been so hard on MLG?
Exactly.
I guarantee you that was a catalyst of sorts.
It had to be, but
there's no. I mean,
at the same time, those fucking guys deserve to cast it. Like,
yes,
and that's the shitty part. And that's why I'm saying, this is all development. This is all still the early. Enjoy the ride, people. Enjoy the ride. Don't get caught up in all the drama and the bullshit. Just enjoy the ride.
At the end of the day, there are going to be some fantastic games. I'm sure the overarching theme of everything is going to be great. But like you said at the beginning, Tobias, there's also room for improvement. There should be a happy medium where it works for everyone and doesn't really screw certain people over.
Well, and do you think the players are getting in the booths and thinking, man, I hope this tournament's or do the point system? And no, like when it's time to play, they're playing, and the games are still awesome.
Right, exactly. So everyone calm down, myself included.
Don't let this leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, you should definitely still watch the game. For the love of God, GSL is so frickin' good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Cheers. This GSL for HOTS for me, I feel like not biased or nothing, like or anything, using horrible language like Wu-Tang. I came out with that. You know, not biased or nothing, but I'm saying is what I'm saying. And what I'm saying
I'm gonna let
is
you finish.
that shit was dope. Like HOTS coming out and watching these guys sort of figuring the game out on their own. And you know what it is? I'm gonna tell you what it is. I just thought of it while I was eating my salad. So it's the fact that you don't know what could happen at any given moment. Wings of Liberty was so ABC because it had played out. Mm-hmm. So you knew it was going to be Winfester GG Lord coming, and that was going to be it. And everybody knew it, and it was just a matter of waiting for it. Oh, there it is, you know. And now this adds this whole new element of creativity and sort of this element of I don't know what's going to happen next. And I'm waiting for that epic game. You guys remember the game with I want to say it was, and I'm going to get it wrong. I know for sure it was Kiwi Kaki, but I think it was Kiwi Kaki Stefano, maybe? Or Idra, one of the fantastic Zerg players. And he kept using the recall. And it was just used in a way that, you know, nobody was making motherships at the time. And he came in and used it in such a way that it was like kind of like I think the developers were like, yeah, that's exactly how we meant it to work, and he's doing it perfectly. And I feel like there is so much more of that to be had in HOTS. Like, that's what I'm so excited for. Like, you're right, watching GSL has got me just so hype train right now because it's like, I don't know some of these players. I've never seen some of these Casper players. I got to get the backstory. I want to know what's going on. And I kind of feel like, again, this is sort of a little dropping the ball. Less point system, more give me where this guy's from and what he's done.
Yeah, that's hard to do. I mean, we're lucky to have Artosis in that degree because not everyone has the encyclopedic knowledge of 12 years of Brood War to dish out every game.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, drastically shifting gears. If you're if you like to stream games on Twitch, they're gonna be banning the play of commercial music soon. So the rumor has it, but this comes from multiple sources. So, and honestly, I'm not too surprised. I'm surprised this has gone on as long as it has. No. Sorry, Kyle, you can't listen to Kids Bop anymore while you stream Dota.
When I think commercial music, is that a cover?
That is as commercial as it gets, though. Like, yes, Kids Bop
it's a cover, but you would still technically need to license it.
Oh my God! And they change all the bad words, and they take out all the Mumbo Number 5 is a travesty.
It's Glee for children.
You're killing me.
Jeez.
Just like Glee is Kids Pop for adults. I hate that show. I hate shitty covers so much. But yeah, so I won't be able to play loud punk rock on the stream anymore. That makes me sad.
Well, that is just unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe I can dig really deep and get some like punk bands that like hardly anyone knows, so I can just contact them directly and get permission to use their music.
Maybe I should just open a music division at EMG and start getting people that want to give their music away on streams. Boom.
There you go.
Done.
That's called being an entrepreneur. That just happened.
Done.
Somebody right now is like writing this down, going on next, going to go.
Doing it right now.
I'm going to start looking for bands this weekend, and then we have like a Metallica situation where this band totally blows up, you know, and then is like, "Fuck you! I'm not giving you any premium music." But wait, you begged for us to listen to you, and now you're going to make us pay double for your what? Like, you're rich and famous now. Yes, that's right.
What is the sound? That is the sound of someone registering the domain eSportsMusicManagement.com.
Yeah. Exactly.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks. Let's talk some esports results, though, guys. Spoiler alert. I was really busy this week and barely saw anything. I saw the first games of Parting, and it was amazing.
I still didn't watch them.
Versus Last. Really, you need to go watch it just for the Blink Micro.
I watch every group the same day, typically, or live, but I didn't watch them. And I've heard all about it, so don't worry about spoilers, obviously, but not that you would anyway, because it'd be silly. We're so far past spoiler range, but I can't wait. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, for nothing else, for the Blink Micro against Widow Mines, that was so damn good.
Well, I heard Parting is just, like, Beast mode.
We got a funny question for you in chat, Tumba, that I feel like asking now on the subject of Codeas.
Yeah.
Guy asked, do you listen to the Codeas casting? Every game is, okay, Artosis, we have some downtime, and ask me a question. What's your favorite fish?
Yeah.
All right, first of all, that is incredibly inaccurate. Tasteless asks the questions.
That's true, but
Well, then
the
Artosis
fish one was
sometimes will be like,
asked.
I don't know. Don't ask me any questions. Those two are amazing because they literally never shut off. You could be at a bar with them in like Sri Lanka,
And they do a play-by-play of the
no
guy
internet,
pouring
no
Guinness.
right, and it's just but it doesn't have to be StarCraft. Like that's the thing people don't get. What makes them so great at their craft is the relationship they have is obviously something special, and it's kind of formed this thing where they can be funny about anything or entertaining about anything, and that's it's really cool. It's awesome. But yeah, I've listened to I listen to all their casts. I always have.
Yeah.
As well as many others. And yeah, that is true. That's very that's even in their comedy sometimes it gets a little ABC-ish, but there's always like a surprising element that they throw in to change it up, so it's good.
Yeah, it's great. They're still my favorite casting duo, hands down. We didn't get to see Parting versus Life. That's disappointing. But if things continue, we might get to see it. Maybe.
How do I open a Mike's Hard Lemonade? Oh, it's a twist off.
You put on your skirt.
I knew that was coming. Crap. Okay, so that was a build order loss right there because I meant to fucking prep that I was about to drink. That the second half of this show is brought to you by Mike's Hard.
My girlfriend won't drink Mike's Hard Lemonade.
My wife does, and in my house, I wear the pants.
He's back. Oh, were you opening it for your wife?
I wear the
No,
pants
you're drinking it.
in this house when she's not home. If she is home. This is the shit I drink because this is what she buys. So
You heard it here first. Tobias wears his
I'm
wife's
out of
pants
Guinness at the moment.
Oh, okay.
You don't get this double chin without throwing some Guinness down, okay? Just saying. But, hey, look, it's wet, it's refreshing, and it's got alcohol. So
I remember early college trying to get drunk off of Smirnoff Ice. You get a sugar headache before you get even remotely drunk.
Yep.
This headache, this will give you a hangover.
Yeah.
Again, Mike's Hard Lemonade. StarCast brought to you by Mike's Hard Lemonade. That will give you the worst hangover for like 5 days. It won't go away. And you can honestly, there's been times like, because I remember that time in college where I tried that Smirnoff Ice, and this is the same stuff. And it's like, please saw my head off. Like literally, like saw it off. I'm going to enjoy feeling you sawing it off because it'll take away from the pain here. And it's like your hair hurts, man. But yeah, so.
By the way, Mike's Hard Lemonade, if you're out there listening, I will accept a sponsorship from you. I'll stop making girly skirt jokes about men who drink your product.
Sure. We'll even say
I
it's an
won't say
energy drink then.
Yeah, exactly.
I play better StarCraft
Thanks.
because of Mike's Hard.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, GSL, Parting in Life, move on. Leanock and Last are out. They're
Wait,
down
by the way, real quick, Leanock. This kid, man. Saw him at MLG Providence, casted him. Unreal. Everybody always says how aggressive he is, ballsy, and like I hate to see that, but that's just how sharp the competition is now, right? That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what we have.
That's why, as heated as I get sometimes looking at the WCS drama stuff, I'm just like, well, at the end of the day, I'm just going to turn on GSL, have my mind blown, and continue loving this game. So it doesn't really matter.
I mean, we watched in the first week DRG and Marine King get kicked out. Anything's going to happen here.
Yeah. Well, just this week, Marine King was kicked out first week, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
No, I'm saying
okay. I thought you were saying
the
this
first week.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think he only won one game. I was so sad. But as I've said in the previous, I'm also very good at bandwagon jumping. So go Flash and Yoda, man. Those guys are insane. Kyle, did you have a game that you watched specifically that you loved, or just watch this whole group?
Ooh, it was Leanock verse last. That was quite enjoyable, but yeah, that's about it, man.
All right.
I mean, like I said, we already talked about the Widow Mine because that's all I was coming with today. I was stoked.
Yeah, that was really good. I agree with you there. The round of 16 kicks off this Tuesday with Group A. We're going to be having Roro, Flying, Yoda, and Sulky all in the same group.
So good. So good.
So incredibly good. My vote, Yoda. Yoda's going to be first out of the group because he's a monster. They're all monsters. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really pick too many here. Roro's been. They've all been schooling. There's nothing more to say.
Yep. WCS, the European Season 1 is going on. The Premier League has started. If you're still a little fuzzy on how all these leagues work, the Premier League is pretty much Code S. It's kind of the easiest way to break this all down.
That's the best way to say it.
And the Challenger League is Code A. So Group A played. Sase was the first out of the group. Big congrats. We had Elroy Pinto from Fnatic on last week. Sase is the only one in the fight for the team. I couldn't have been happier for them.
Love Sase.
And he took the win off of 4GG. He won the third game with Dark Templar. I couldn't believe it. It was awesome. It was wonderful. 4GG was also made it out. It was kind of a no-brainer. He was my pick for that group.
Yeah.
Bunny and Slivko didn't make it. Lucifron and Happy were the first out of group, or were the two out of Group B, and Bly and Haswabs are heading on down to the Challenger League. Group C is going to be happening this upcoming Tuesday on April 30th, so check that out. And that's really all I watched this week, but I guess just to update everyone real quick, we pretty much talked about the WCS America qualifiers, so that happened this past weekend, so check all that jazz out. The really awesome thing about that, all drama aside, every single VOD is up on YouTube in full high definition, so if you want to catch any of the games, you can go check them out. Pro League's still going on. They're still in round 4 now. EG Liquid won a game this week. Very excited against SKT, but they also lost a game, which is.
Does anybody else feel like EG and Liquid should be? I mean, at first I was like, yeah, fucking awesome. Powerhouse, combine the foreigners.
And now you're like, this is like when Van Halen went on tour with both lead singers.
Exactly. Now I kind of want Liquid and EG because I love both to kind of have, and I have my Dignitas. Where's my Dignitas band? Oh, it's in the. I took it off the shower. But I pretty much love those three teams the most. That's like my trifecta of foreigners. No offense to any other foreign teams I didn't mention. Root is always awesome, and but it's just they're not in this.
Katz is outside your window with an axe right now. Don't worry about
it. He might be. He might be. I think he's in Peru at the moment, but then again, you never know with him. But yeah, no, I mean, that was a great analogy with the two lead singers because that's how I feel like.
Except I like both EG and Liquid, whereas Hagar can literally fall off a cliff. So, David Lee Roth bust.
And now I'm getting shit from people at TT Esports for drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade and wearing their products. They're actually like, take our products off right now. Don't mention anything about TT Esports. Put on a skirt.
Good.
So.
I haven't heard a better reason for buying TTE products, so get on that.
There it is.
Yep.
Real Men he actually said Eric from TT Esports says we have a set of pink headphones for you. You know what? Fuck this.
Awesome.
Wait a second.
I'll take pink headphones, man.
Stop the fucking show. Stop the fucking show. I'm not kidding. Stop the fucking show. I'll be right back.
What? Wait.
This show has gone
right here. I'm gonna show you something.
Oh my.
Oh, there it is. This show has gone down a hole I was not expecting it to go.
Right here. And I got to shout out, I love my TT Esports, but since you brought up the pink headphones, Steel Series had a great initiative, and I bought these for my wife. And also, I know a portion of this went to breast cancer research, and that's fantastic. So shouts out to Steel Series for that. And I know a partial portion of it also went to Kim Rom's drinking budget. So as well.
We've had him on the show. I can confirm that.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. Look, Eric, you brought up the pink headphones. What do you want me to do? It is for a good cause, but I'm not even allowed to wear these because they're my wife's. So there you have it.
We promised you a 90-minute show, Tom, but this is your fault at this point. Finally, AC
Breaking news: Nick and Dan lose sponsorship with TT Esports over the dumbass agent that went on and showed pink Steel Series.
I'm glad to see that an agent of esports management is this fun and not some kind of stuffy suit wearing.
Have you ever been to a live event with us?
No.
If you put me, Cameron, Nick and Dan, and anybody else in a room, there's going to be
blood,
nakedness, loud noises, alcohol everywhere, Waitress is laughing. It's a good time. It's a good time. They laugh because they have to. We tip high.
Awesome.
But we're not interesting people. But, they can't understand what the hell we're talking about. They're like, what is he saying? Dark Templar? I didn't even know. They just shut up, Lisa. They're tipping us. They got a table. They're tipping us. Just shut up. Go Dark Templar all night.
All right. We're nearing the end of the show. If you've got a question for our unruly guest tonight, throw it in the chat now. I've got to read at least one email. We had more emails this week, but we're running short on time. So Jared, Cubby, and many more, you'll be on next week's episode. Yosada, we started his email last week. We said we'd read more on this week. I think we've beaten a dead horse with WCS. He wrote a very long, very well thought out entry on his thoughts on WCS. Go check out our show notes on the StarCast.com. See it in full. But he also included really fun random questions, and we love those. So, the first one, he asked, how often, and this is to Garrett, to Kyle and myself, speaking in my own name. He said, how often do you speak to each other outside of podcasting? How good of friends are you in real life? I would say that we hate each other.
Absolutely.
Kyle actually stole my first wife. Then we had a lightsaber battle over the pit of an open volcano.
It sounds like bonding. That's how we became friends.
Yeah.
Because once you have a fight with a guy, it's over. I mean, the problem only lies when the other guy doesn't throw down or even apologize. After you have a nice go, there's no hard feelings.
Right, yeah. Kyle took my hand. This is actually a robot hand, and we're all good now. No, we're good. We talk a lot out of the show.
Every day.
Yeah, indeed. If at the very least through chat. No, we play a lot of games together. We play twos together, and Kyle makes us lose because I'm not that good. So when he screws around with things like Swarm Host, it really sets us back.
Do you yell at him like, "We don't have time for your Swarm Host"?
No, I get
help me.
Kyle can confirm this. I get into this panic mode like, where's your shit? Where's your shit, Kyle? Where the hell are your units?
But I play too much 1v1, so I'm not used to talking. So I'm like, I'm being awesome elsewhere.
Yes, he doesn't communicate what's going on, and so I'm just like, I'm trying to defend the front. There's a giant Protoss death ball with a sprinkling of roaches in there. I'm just freaking out, having a heart attack, and he's just very quietly like, okay, here, wait, I need.
I mean, for every word I say, I'm
that's all I hear.
Quoting about 100 minerals.
That's a good point. Fair enough.
Can I hit some of these questions in chat real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the first one, Lovings wants me to talk about the awkward wedding proposal at MLG. Okay. Lovings in chat, were you there live by any chance? Let's start there. And two, that wasn't fucking awkward. It was fucking awesome. Like, are you kidding me? She had no clue. She went to every esports event with me. She was into games before, but she's right by my side while I was casting beta streams and everything. And fucking, I've never been on stage in front of fucking 5,000 nerds before, and how many ever watching? Like, cut me some fucking slack, Reddit. And then everyone on Reddit's like, I zoomed into her face, and I'm a facial recognition expert, which means that you have no fucking job and you live in your parents' basement. And she wanted to say no. And I'm like, well, I'm married now, bitch. And Nick and Dan were at my wedding, so suck it. You know what I mean? But, look, did it feel awkward? Like, was it awkward? It was nowhere near as awkward as people made it out to be on Reddit, like when they took stills of, you could take a still of anything. She was scared to death. She had no idea what was going on. Clutch pushed her up on stage. But I have to thank that fucking Providence crowd, because I'm like, what if I got there and proposed and everyone's like, boo? The crowd was fucking behind me. They gave me the courage to do it. They were fantastic. They had no idea it was coming. So, I mean, to this day, I've made friends in the airport over that entire cast. I was leaving and I met Matt, actually, he went to Hamilton College at the time. I think he's in chat now. And he's like, you're Tumba, you proposed. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And, we actually ended up producing a show with Anna Prosser together and behind the screens and became really good friends. And I have to say, everything about that, I wouldn't have changed a thing. I got a ton of shit on Reddit because that's what Reddit does. And she had to go on Reddit and clear it up, what she did. And cream always rises to the top. She put them in their place. We are married. It was a great wedding in Vegas, and we had a lot of fun. And I laugh. Like I can laugh at myself real easily. So looking back at that moment, yeah, it was corny and a little crazy, but well worth it. I got to propose main stage at MLG. Suck it, nerds. Like, that's the fucking best. And awkward or not. And Hwani and Clutch right there while I did it. Like, if I passed out, they're my boys. They're going to at least carry me off stage. They're not going to leave me there. So, it was good.
And Clutch would do a sick-ass dance while escorting you off stage.
He would moonwalk my shit off the stage. Like, there is no doubt. And Hwani just looks like a male fucking model. That guy. If you don't know who Hwani is, you should. And he's fantastic. But, another question was, the Yeti, is the Yeti mic appropriate? Maybe it's a fat joke. If so, yes.
It's also just a damn good mic.
It is. It's a great mic. It's when I had my first cast with a professional caster. It was Map of the Month with Mr. Bitter. I ran out and bought a Yeti because I didn't want to insult him by sounding shitty. Loving Zach, tell me you play Protoss. The Korean people are saying SOS is the dark horse. Put money on. Some think SOS the best Protoss in the world. Would you give? Okay, real quick, and then I'm going to give the show back. Well, wait a second. Coffee drinker just blew my wine. How do you get your wife to stop telling you StarCraft is your mistress and you cheat on her? Oh, never mind. I was like, I didn't cheat on my wife. What happened? The best Protoss player in the world, I'm going to tell you right now, partying, blah, 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 blah. MC. I've said it forever. Mr. Bitter wanted to argue with me on this before. They got him figured out. 2 base timing teaser, blase, blase. And what happened? Number one money. Went out, dominated. Not only did he dominate it, but he entertained too, right? He came out of the booth doing all kind of crazy ass shit. So, you know what? I don't even care what Artos is, Tasteless, Bitter. I don't care what any of them say. None of them. Because I'm going to tell you right now, MC, the best. That cat wins when he wants to win. I mean, maybe he's in one of those phases where he's kind of been at the top so long, his confidence is his greatest asset and his biggest weakness. Let me put it that way. But if he gets motivated to win, look out. And he's a big nerd like me, so he likes to eat the groceries. I'm going with MC, best Protoss.
Yeah. I would challenge that with parting, but I'll lose that fight.
Listen, parting is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, like great execution, but MC is the best.
He was. I will definitely. He was the first. I think he was the first Korean player to really wrap his head around becoming going beyond just being a damn good player and becoming a personality.
Yeah, and we need that.
It also helps that the man speaks English incredibly well. But
we need more personalities as gamers. If you want, what we need in North America is we need that North American player to come out that's good at the game, that can talk in front of a camera, that can actually win when the pressure's on, and is entertaining overall, so the casters can talk about them too as well. So like that's the not even the trifecta, that's the fourfecta. We need one of those to come out to really get this thing going. I think that'll help. And Stefano was kind of that for a while. Like Stefano, in my mind, so disappointed not to see him in Korea because he was kind of that for us. But it's we'll see. Yep. But as far as Koreans go, MC. Sorry, go ahead. Moving on.
It's fine, man. Anyone? Tobias, just so do you have any knowledge of Game of Thrones?
Are you fucking kidding me? So I'm friends with Hodor. Like he called on Twitter.
All right. Okay.
That's
it's Twitter official. It's Twitter official.
That is a lie. I have spoke to him. He is a big video game player.
Yeah, he's a hardcore WoW fan.
Yeah, and we played Star Wars together, Old Republic.
Oh, that was a fun game.
It was a fun game, but anyway, so yes, I have tons of knowledge. Who didn't see that guy? Everybody knew that guy was gonna get burned. Like they're all like, "Hey, Khaleesi, don't give up the dragon," and she's like, "Shut up, bitches! I got this. These are my dragons. You gonna give up a dragon? Shut the fuck up! Don't ever argue with me again." She was like, "Mama-san, like, hey." Hey, you're gonna eat your fucking pasta. I don't care if it's the 4th night in a row. Like she's like, "Don't you ever, motherfucker! I'll burn you next, motherfucker." And that's how she was. No, I'm serious. Like, everybody saw her. I'm so happy too that she finally got to be a badass because she was a whiny bitch for the I'm dragon. I am dragon. My dragons. Where are my dragons?
I don't want to hear it, man. I've been rooting for her all the way. Her and Jon Snow, man. If her and Jon Snow have a child, it is over. If anyone's wondering why the hell we're talking about Game of Thrones, Yosada's second random question was, what do we think of the Game of Thrones season so far? Better, worse? Do we read the books, etc.? Kyle, I think we just spoiled some shit for you because I think you haven't started the most recent season yet.
Dude, I mean, Tumba just said it. Yeah, so clear. I mean, she's standing there and she's not gonna sell to that.
Exactly.
And
how goes?
Yeah.
Yeah. This last episode was so effing good. It was so freaking good. Because the first 3 episodes so far, they've been kind of slow. It's been a lot of build up. I mean, even their slow episodes are great because the acting's incredible, the writing is great, lots of hot naked women, can't go wrong with that.
Sex position.
Yeah, sex position. I've been really impressed though. They've had episodes now. They've had 2 episodes this season now with 0 nudity, which I think is a first for the series. And I go for it.
Bad direction.
I say go for it because I honestly think when there's nudity just for the sake of nudity, it takes away from how good the show is.
Never a bad thing, and you're probably the only person on earth that feels that way.
That being said,
I don't want to make you feel like an outsider, but that's really fucking stupid, and you deserve to wear a funny hat all day because you said that.
Okay. That being said, the scene with in the 3rd episode from the season, we're in the whorehouse with all the different whores that Tyrion is buying his assistant
good.
So freaking hilarious.
So good. And I wouldn't know what he did. I still don't know what he did. He comes back with the money, and they're like...
And now it's a running joke. Even in the most recent episode, they're still talking about it. And I
what did
love
this cat do?
I'm laughing my ass off the whole time. I mean, it's so good. It was much needed comic relief because this season's been very dark so far, and this last episode was dark as shit. And good, really good for it. So,
can I give my thoughts on Game of Thrones right now?
Go, real quick. No book spoilers, please, if you read the books.
Okay, I did read the books up until the part where the Thing attacks Khaleesi on the dock, which is totally in a different place.
I don't know the books, so stop spoiling.
No, I'm not spoiling. This already happened.
Oh, the bug. Yes, okay.
The bug. That's where I read the books up to, and I'm like, fuck this. The books are fantastic. Love them to death. They are great, but for some reason I said, I just have to watch this happen because it's so different. The 2 worlds are so different. I don't want to spoil it. I love the show. So, but season 3, I think, and my wife warned me. She's so smart. She is a genius. Thank God one of us is. The first 3 are all set up. It felt like, right? Like not much action. Everybody wants to see Joffrey die, and now they're kind of doing this thing where people you hated so badly, you start to feel bad for.
Oh, Jaime Lannister, the turnaround they've done on that character for him is ridiculous. I'm rooting for him, and I'm like, that first episode of season 1 where he pushes Bran out the friggin' window.
Kill that
guy! You need to die! You need to freaking die!
Kill him yesterday! Right?
Exactly. And now...
What do you mean Ned Stark's gonna die? And shit die!
I mean, even Joffrey telling his mom to shut up, you're like, all right. You're weird. You're freaky, but that's all right. Not as freaky
as the other kid in the Vale where he's like, make the bad man fly, mommy! I'm like, whoa.
Catelyn Stark's sister.
But exactly.
She's crazy.
But I mean, I think that it took a little while to get going, and now it's going to really start. I think that the characters that we love to hate were starting to turn around, and they're trying to even do it a little bit with Joffrey. But my call, and I've never seen any of this. I've never read the book. I could be totally wrong, and people are like, Tumba is wrong. He doesn't. But I think the Queen, not the Queen Regent, the Queen.
Cersei.
No, that's the Queen Regent. The Queen.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's not Queen yet because they haven't gotten married, but yeah.
Gonna be the Queen. She's gonna kill him. She's gonna kill.
Oh, yeah.
She's 10 kinds of crazy.
Yeah, that's my guess.
She's calculated.
But she's the good kind of crazy.
I heard of all of them. They're like, do you want to be a queen? And she's like, no, I want to be the queen. And I was like, oh.
Well, she is a political genius. You saw it in season 2 where she's with the other Baratheon.
Oh, where she didn't even care that he was gay.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
Hey, do you want my brother to come in? We can do this. Like,
she's like, you don't get it. You're the king. You can do whatever you want.
Renly.
I'm down with it. Renly, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and she's a political genius, and she just knows how to play into anyone's cards. She identifies them, and she knows exactly how to make them dance.
Why aren't we doing a Game of Thrones podcast?
We just did.
No, we like that's a fucking great idea. Somebody who said that in chat.
Curran.
Oh, Curran, of course, that fucking.
I'll see you Sunday night after the show.
Yeah, I mean, we totally need to do a Game of Thrones show, for sure, and then we can shit all over the production and everything they do wrong, and make Reddit posts,
Which is none.
which is like
it's
very
so well done.
Well, it's good to see. Like, for those of you that don't know how television works, it typically is till like season 3 is your money season, unless you're like Chappelle and you blow up and it's like so fast. But typically,
It's a little different with sketch comedy too.
Yeah, but even my point is like season 3, especially with like, even though HBO is a huge production house, I get it, and it's their original, and they always spend lots of money. It was always an issue of how vast and how big they could make it, and you saw it in season 2 because you didn't see a lot of the dragons, and that was because they couldn't afford the dragons. Well, now the budget's nice and fat because it's the most pirated show of all time.
Got more Emmys than they can know what to do with.
I mean, they're doing great, and what I love about the show, right, and I'm gonna end on this before I go on for another 3 hours, is what's great about the show is the fact that the writer doesn't insult your intelligence.
Right.
Kind of what you expect to happen is what happens, and that's so fucking refreshing because you're like, oh man, in this situation, this should really fucking happen. And when there is a surprise, it's a well thought out written surprise. So, I really love the show. I love season 3 so far, and I just hope it just continues this kind of
crescendo.
Yeah, into they do a real good job with that, the pacing.
Yep. So, who is this? Yosada, if that wasn't a good enough answer to that question, I don't know what is. And I think we will call it a show there. When we start ranting about our love for things that have nothing to do with StarCraft and aren't even video games, it's time to end the show.
They made a video game. Never heard much about it.
It was a piece of shit. Tobias, floor is yours. Where can people find you? Is there anything you'd like to promote?
Yeah, of course. eSports Management Group. Trying to do a lot of great things and have a lot of great announcements coming up, as always. I hate to tease, but we're going to have some new ones. If you're a content maker or you are thinking about making content, you want to get on HNN, please go ahead and hit us up. You can check out the website.
Any games in specific you're looking for shows about?
Any games you want, in terms of, as long we like to keep it esports centric, but even speed runs or whatever, if you're passionate about it and you want to put out good content, we'd love to give you a shot. As well as big shouts out to TT Esports, simply because they've supported me since I was shoutcasting rather. The mics are limited for free. So big shouts out to TT Esports for always supporting me in everything I've done. And they've got some great fucking stuff coming out for Nick and Dan. If you don't know, they got a headset, a mouse, and a keyboard that are all designed ground up with the guys' direct input. So be on the lookout for that. Follow me on Twitter at EMG Tumba. And guys, thank you for coming over to HNN, moving the show over. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. I love the work you guys do. And so my final shout out, obviously, to the StarCast. Keep making fucking fantastic content.
Thanks, man. TT Esports makes the new Prime Edition keyboard, right?
Yeah, that thing.
I want it so bad. It is obnoxiously loud red, and I want it in the worst way. I mean,
so I love my Mecha G1 so much that I really don't think I could. It's hard for me. It'd be hard for me to change, but aesthetically, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. It's so obnoxious.
Boy, is it loud.
It's so bright. I want it. One of these days, I'm going to get it for myself. Anyways, it's time for our shout-out. StarCast is a production of amove.tv. You can find this and many other awesome shows like This Week in Blizz or our new show, The Campaign Roundtable. You want to geek out about the story of video games? Season 1 kicks off this Tuesday. We're starting with Portal 2, and after that, we're jumping into Bioshock Infinite. So,
where can we catch that? Where do we catch that at?
amove.tv/campaign roundtable.
One more time.
amove.tv/campaign roundtable.
Got to hear it twice. Now it's locked.
All right.
Ever.
TheStarcast.com, that's the place to go for our forums, archives, t-shirts. Go to /loot.com. We've got t-shirts up there. We have the StarCast logo. We have Tychus wearing shutter shades designed by me, directly supports the show, go check it out. Again, slashloot.com. You can catch us live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on twitch.tv/thehandsomenerd. See all of our VODs over at youtube.com/StarCast Show and catch our podcast on the Frog Pants Studio Ultra feed over at frogpants.com. You can also email the show at starcastshow@gmail.com. That's where we got our email from Yosada today. If you want to hear us rant about something like Game of Thrones or other non-StarCraft things, that's where to send it. We also accept rant spawning questions about StarCraft, so you can stay on topic. We don't judge here. Just don't ask for our social security number. We won't give that out. Sorry. Follow us on Twitter at the StarCast. Follow me at Garrett Art. Kyle is at Kyle Fergusson. You can follow our guest today at EMG_Tumba. Big thanks to our production crew, Octane Pro and Captain Newbing, for all that they do for this show. And check out my site, nomoonart.com. If you need stream graphics of any sort, I can definitely accommodate you, and I'm always available for freelance. Kyle, where can people find you?
You can also find me at Biggest Fan Podcast, where we followed the fad that's driving you mad, and we did emergency pizza instead of Transformers, because we ate pizza the previous night. We want to talk about pizza, and I love pineapple pizza. What's your favorite topping, Garrett?
Italian sausage. Crumbled. Spicy.
Tumba?
Not sliced.
Ooh, buddy. Oh, see, it's never an easy answer with me. You say, oh, pepperoni. No, I'm not going to do an easy answer. I'm sorry. Fuck you guys. So, since you said that...
I like to crack open a Mike's Hard Lemonade and pour it over my fucking pizza. What?
That's how... Yeah, no. You want to ruin a pizza. I am a pizza aficionado. Best pizza in the world, Vincent's Pizza in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's actually outside of Pittsburgh, but it won #1 in the nation. It's like a truck stop almost. It's horrible, but each pizza is like $75, but the crust is this thick. Yeah. No, the crust is this thick.
Oh man.
And they just pile the toppings on like until there's a layer of what a normal pizza is of toppings. But favorite topping. So there's a pizza down here it's made with ricotta cheese. It's got ricotta. I'm a fat boy, so I love to talk about my pizza. It's got ricotta cheese, Italian sausage, just like you said, but it's also got like onions and pepperoni. So you want to talk about heartburn for days. But it's worth it, man. So those are my favorite toppings. Thanks for asking.
Nice. Good stuff. Big shout out to our sponsors, DogHouseSystems.com, TweakedAudio.com, and SD2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Our code is StarCast. That gets you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig. 30% off and free shipping on your entire order of earbuds from TweakedAudio.com. And SD2QuoteOfTheDay.com. We don't have a code. Just follow them on Twitter at SD2Quotes. Download their app on the iOS store and submit your quote of the day from the StarCraft 2 community via any of those outlets, because we love them to death. And yeah, well, actually, to pimp them by via an example, they posted a quote from In Control this week that said, I believe MLG staff is hard to interview because they own up to anything they screw up. So again, follow them at SC2Quotes. We thank them very much for their support. Them. Tobias, dude, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
All right. We will see you all next week with episode 150. I have no idea if we have a guest or not, so just stay tuned. I was on
fucking 149?
Yep.
You couldn't have waited one?
Sorry, man.
I'm kidding.
Sorry.
I'm kidding. Love you guys.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Take care.